for our feature story of the day. Rich Dad Robert Kiyosaki is predicting Bitcoin to hit $10 million per coin very easily. So let's break this baby down. You can see in the headline right here. In fact, he recently shared a tweet. This was on July 3rd. I'm going to read it to you verbatim. Boom, going bust. Technical charts indicate the biggest crash in history coming. Prices of real estate, stocks, bonds, gold, silver, and Bitcoin crash. Great news. Good time to buy bargains will follow. Technical charts indicate major long-term bull market cycle will follow. Starting bull market climb in late 2025, raising prices for years. This bull market cycle is the boom gold silver and Bitcoin investors have been waiting for. Their patience will be rewarded. This is the long-term bull market cycle they knew had to come. They know it has come because of the U.S. being the biggest debtor nation in history. They know this long cycle bull market is a-coming because they know faith and confidence in fake money is dissolving. They know history will repeat. They know what happened to Germany's Reichsmark, the Zimbabwe dollar. They know more and more people are finally waking up. They know after the crash, the long cycle bull market for gold, silver, and Bitcoin will begin. They know after the crash, gold, silver, Bitcoin will once again begin climbing to hit new all-time highs. Gold possibly 15,000 an ounce, silver possibly $110 an ounce. Bitcoin easily to $10 million per coin. They know to be patient. They know their time has arrived. Take care. Now, what do you notice out of these three predictions here? Notice the gold prediction? Possibly. Notice the silver prediction? Possibly. Notice the Bitcoin prediction? Easily. AKA easy peasy. You feel me? So obviously, Bitcoin is in a class of its own. Also, run the math. I think gold right now is trading at like 2,300 an ounce. So if we go to 15,000, it's a modest 7x. I don't know the exact silver price, but probably something similar, maybe a 5 to 10x. Whereas with Bitcoin, run the math. What's 10 million divided by today's price action of 55,000? Way more than 10x. So he's ultimately saying he knows for a fact Bitcoin is easily going to 10 million. He's not so sure about gold and silver, but it could do what it do. So he recognizes the king for being the king, the apex predator. Enough said, but let's dive a little deeper. This was actually just published here earlier today. So yeah, technical charts indicate the biggest crash is a-coming. He shared with 2.5 million followers on X. Good time to buy the bargains will follow. Technical charts indicate the major long-term bull market cycle will follow, starting the bull market climb late 2025, which would ultimately signify Q4 family, and which is ironic. A little earlier, I shared some news from Trump as well, which was just released via the Financial Times, where it says the return of Trump to the White House could spark massive Bitcoin rally in Q4 of 2024, which ironic enough is right in alignment with that of Rich Dad's forecast. And what's also ironic is Rich Dad and Trump wrote a book together back in the day. I remember because I bought it and I read it when I was a young man. It was called Why We Want You to Be Rich. So, you know, Rich Dad and Trump do got a connection there. The 77-year-old whose 1997 book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, sold more than 32 million copies. In fact, let me know if you read that book. It had a very significant impact on my life growing up, so I always have a lot of respect for Rich Dad. It helped me think outside the box, you know what I mean? Now, this is the long-term bull market cycle the investors, knew had to come. Amen. They know it has come because the U.S. is the biggest debtor nation in history. They know it is a-coming because they know faith and confidence in fake money is dissolving. And that's the key right there. The fiat money, my fam, is fake. It's fake. It's a fugazi. You feel what I'm saying? It's all fake. And people believe it's real. It's the only reason it has any value. It's backed by nothing. The US dollar is backed by men with guns. We call the military industrial complex. You feel me? What happened when Gaddafi tried to create their own bank? You know what I mean? For his people. What happened when Saddam tried to create his own bank and move away from the dollar? didn't end so well. You know what I mean? But now we have the BRICS movement. We have many nations looking towards the de-dollarization because they know the dollar is on its unalive bed, if you feel what I'm saying. And Bitcoins have taken over. Bitcoin to be a strategic reserve asset for the United States, if that were to take place, 10 million per coin, easy peasy. Family. Let me know your thoughts. Do you agree with Rich Dad, Poor Dad, 100K, 100 million? I think he also said, my apology, I think he said 300,000 in a previous tweet a few weeks ago we covered on the pod. He's also projecting $300,000 Bitcoin by August of this year. July, August, that's like next month, or it may have been September, but I remember it was coming up. He was projecting 300,000 as the top for this year, and he believes Bitcoin's going to be heading to 10 million per coin. Let me know if you agree or disagree, family. And welcome to the Q&A segment of the live show. I'll do my best to read all your comments out loud. Let me know your projections, your thoughts, and I'll also read those out loud. JV, is Nipsey given that by Signal got that dry powder on the standby? You already know, Sam, man. Holy crap. Crabbin and Tuckerton grew up with the crabbers along the bay. It's a freaking small world after all. Amen, Steve. China is in many ways the biggest debtor nation in history. A reserve currency requires a lot of bond issuance, but it has accelerated ridiculously since 2019. Yes, bullish as what? Amen. Amen. Now, I personally, I'm not so bullish on gold and silver just because I understand the level of manipulation involved in it, and that the fact is there is a infinite supply. You can say it's relatively scarce, but they're always going to discover more gold. They're always going to discover more silver. They can just invest more into finding more of it. Bitcoin, finite. Limited supply for the first time in human history. A perfect money in which human beings can save and don't got to worry about losing it all like a melting ice cube to hyperinflation. For the first time in human history, you're going to be rewarded for saving. Currently, you hoard fiat currency. What do we call them, folks?
But like most of the people who are buying assets at some point want to sell the assets at a profit.
You feel me? JBZ disagrees. What do you disagree with, JBZ? Seven Bridges was pretty shaky 50 years ago. Used the stock harvest clams out there. To be clear, I mean the U.S. has become reckless since 2019. No, the U.S. has been reckless for decades. But I digress. Since 9/11, I can safely say the United States has been reckless. You feel me? Myota and Jasmine went long on working on the people. We are working on the... what does that say? The martingale, eh? Doesn't align with the Rich Dad forecast at all. Kiyosaki isn't bullish enough. I gotcha. One was 2024. The other was 2025. Bitcoin price will be manipulated through the ETF. Well, the price is manipulated, but there's levels of manipulation. There's levels to everything. On the surface level, Bitcoin is decentralized. And there's a finite limited supply, so that it can only be manipulated so much. But do the ETFs manipulate the price? Do governments of the world do things to manipulate? 100%, and they're always going to. But at the end of the day, they don't have control over it. They have very minuscule control, and that's why they fear it. Bitcoin severs the heads from the central banking cartels, family. It separates money from state. It's their biggest nightmare. Mark my words.